Hi everyone, welcome to the Cybersecurity channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to start a career in cybersecurity. First, some background. I've been in cybersecurity for about 10 years now. I'm the Chief Information Security Officer for my organization, so I've got a good deal of experience in cybersecurity, plus I've been through a few hiring rounds in cybersecurity, so I want to provide you with my insight into what I look for and what my general recommendation is for you guys if you're looking into starting a career in cybersecurity. So the first thing I'd recommend anybody would be, if you're not already, get into information technology. If that means starting a position in IT that's entry level, which for most of us that's where we start, that's where I started, do that. And now you're probably wondering, so if it's not cybersecurity directly, if it's not a cybersecurity role in a cybersecurity team, how does that help you? So one thing to watch out for whenever you're in IT is keeping an eye on how your role impacts cybersecurity. So one thing to keep in mind, if you're a system administrator, I've got this webpage pulled up right here regarding the server message block version 1 protocol. So if you're a system administrator at an entry level, you're going to be most likely asked to do some configuration and some monitoring that would really allow you to touch cybersecurity. So in this case with SMB v1, this is an older protocol in Windows that if you're a system administrator, you could say to your employer, hey guys, this is an older protocol. This is a vulnerable protocol. And if you look a little bit further down on this page in this article, you'll see that the WannaCry and Petya ransomware both looked for this vulnerability on Windows and allowed this ransomware to propagate. So if we click over here to this other tab, the Center for Internet Security has several hundred configuration recommendations for Windows. And as a system administrator, one thing you could be doing at an entry level is keeping these in mind. So for any number of these hundreds of options and configuration settings, you can keep these in mind. And as your employer asks you to administer systems, make these recommendations to them and at least understand why you're recommending them. And if they don't accept them, just let them know, okay, here's a vulnerability and so forth. Now, some of you may be more network inclined. So recently there was a really big hack earlier this month of this company out of Austin, Texas named SolarWinds. And this actually turned into a national security issue because hackers breached the SolarWinds company's software development and basically got their hacked code into this software that then was sold and downloaded by plenty of legitimate organizations. And I'll let you do the Googling to figure out who was impacted, but huge names were impacted by this. So what does this have to do with networking? When you're in an entry-level networking role, you're going to be asked to likely configure firewall rules or configure equipment and so forth. Basically, you need to understand in an entry-level network role how network traffic works, how protocols function, and so forth. So one key piece with SolarWinds, with the SolarWinds Sunburst breach, one key piece of information to understand is that as a network team, you can monitor for malicious traffic. And so in the case of this hack companies often communicate outbound to command and control servers controlled by the hackers. So if you're able to identify that hacked network activity to the compromised, to the CNC server, you can basically tell your team, hey, this is malicious traffic, this shouldn't be occurring, we need to block this. Of course, this is a big challenge. This requires you as a network admin to tell your team or to tell your employer, hey, we only want to allow the absolute necessary outbound traffic. Otherwise, we could be allowing malicious traffic. Anyway, this SolarWinds hack is a very good use case for one, understanding network security well, but two, even an entry-level role. This would give you a glimpse into the benefit of having a default deny security posture. And some of you may want to be programmers. So maybe you're not interested in system administration or in network administration, but you may be a software engineer or a programmer. even here you have the ability to learn about cybersecurity. So I had to pull up this Java API. Back in the days of college, I learned about coding through Java. And so even with coding, there's plenty to deal with cybersecurity and plenty to keep in mind with cybersecurity. In this application programming interface API for Java, you'll see I've pulled up a Java cryptography class. And one thing you'll see through here is lots of concepts and terminology that you'll see not only in programming, but also in networking, also in system administration. And one thing you'll notice that once you start learning about cybersecurity is that so many of these concepts transfer from one area to another. And even if you learn a concept, and what you think is solely just coding or programming, you will eventually find that these concepts translate to other areas. So here in this case, you'll see that this Java cryptography class talks about ciphers, cipher streams, private key information, and all of this stuff is stuff I've seen in Windows configuration, network configuration, firewall configuration. So in summary, I recommend, if you're not already there, get started in information technology. This gives you the benefit of one, learning, building your cybersecurity knowledge, if you will, and two, this gives you the benefit of expanding your resume. So the longer you stay in a position, the more history you can demonstrate to an employer in the future, the better. In part 2 of this discussion of this series, I'll be talking about something else you can do to prepare yourself for a cybersecurity career, that being getting certified. And I'll provide you with my recommendations on certifications you can pursue to get into cybersecurity. Thanks for listening, and give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.